You guys are staying? Going? Okay. No problemo. All right, so we are on page 14. Page 14. Oh, I also wanted to just check in with you. Did everybody complete 2.1D, multiplying and dividing with Sig Figs? No?
Was that homework?
That was homework.
Really?
Yes, it was.
What page was that?
That was pages, what was it, 18 through 21.
No way.
Optional.
No, I said optional for some other pages. Let's check. Let's see what I actually wrote, because you know I could have made a mistake. Let's see. Cam 11. Homework. No, you're right. That was optional. It is for the weekend. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm talking about, apparently. Okay. There we go. Well, now I feel better. I was horrified that all of you hadn't done it, but it makes more sense now. All right. So remember, when you do a measurement, all measurements are all the certain digits plus that one uncertain digit. So the only thing we're adding into this is when we have a number calculated from measurements, and this is page 14. We also want all the certain digits plus one uncertain digit. So we have a length, for example, we have a length of object B, which is 3.2 centimeters. Okay, so here's ruler B. Here is object B. Crazy pen. Object B. Here is object C. And we're not going to spend a lot of time going through how to do these measurements because you've already written your test on that, so I'm going to assume you know how to do that. So we have 3.2 centimeters and 5.00 centimeters. Now, what if I wanted to put these two together and say, what is the total length of B and C together? Yes? Well, I have 3.2 plus I'm going to make it 5.00. Whoops, I got to line up my decimal places. 5.00. And I have put my uncertain digits in red, but if you want to highlight them or underline them, you can do that, or circle them. Just don't erase them like I did. So when we add this up, we get 8.20. Now, the question is this 0 certain or uncertain? Uncertain. Why is it uncertain? Because that 0 was uncertain, so that 0 is also uncertain. Okay, so the uncertainty carries down. Okay, so in this number, the 100ths are uncertain. Now, how about the 2? Am I sure about that too, or am I unsure about that too? I'm unsure about that too. Why am I unsure? Because this 2 here, oops, that 2 there is uncertain. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so it's also an uncertain digit because it came from an uncertain digit. So in this number, the tenths are uncertain. How many uncertain digits are we allowed to have? Only one. Therefore, we have to say, I am not allowed to have 2 uncertain digits, so I need to round to my first uncertain digit. That will give me only 1 uncertain digit. Okay? So 8.20 is going to round to 8.2. And if this were a written problem, I would need to write centimeters everywhere, right? Because no numbers in chemistry exist without a unit. And in general, I like to box my final answer so I know that that's it. Okay? Now, if you've done this in physics, they probably taught you the rule, go to the smaller number of decimal places. The rule works almost identically, so you can either round to the first uncertain digit or you can round to the smallest number of decimal places. So we had a 1 decimal place here and we had 2 decimal places here, so the smaller number of decimal places is 1 decimal place. Both methods work, okay? The uncertain digit works when you don't have any decimal places. So that's why I'm teaching that as well, okay? Okay, here are some rocks. I have 2 different rocks on 2 different balances. And I don't know, have you guys used an electronic balance before? Like one of the ones, the little electronic scales you put things on. Have you noticed when you put something on it, often that last digit will like flicker? It'll be like, oh, it's a 3, oh, it's a 4, oh, it's a 3, oh, it's a 4, right? It'll be back and forth. So what's happening here is if we look at these ones here, I'll make that a little bit bigger, you can see that we have 143.0, and then we have a flicker, and it becomes 143.1. Yes? And then it will flicker back to the 143.0. So that's the digit that is flickering. What does that tell you about the 0 and the 1? That tells you that that is the uncertain digit, okay? So that is our uncertain digit. Now we have a different rock and it's on a different balance, not the same balance. And when it flickers, it goes back and forth between 180 and 190. So who is the uncertain digit in that measurement? Tell your partner what you think. Okay, is this number 1 sig fig, 2 sig figs, or 3 sig figs? You get to hold up the number of fingers you think. 1 sig fig, 2 sig fig, or 3 sig figs? Yes, it is 2 sig figs, and our uncertain digit is the 8/9 because that's what is changing. Is this a very precise balance? No, your measurements are going to be off by as much as 10 grams from each other just by that uncertainty of the balance. Okay, so they're not very close to each other. All right, so there's our uncertain digit there. And you can actually see we also get another little bit of flickering because sometimes it's not just 2 numbers, sometimes it'll go between 3 numbers. We also have a 142.9. And down here we have a 200. The reason I wanted to include this 142.9 is that it looks as though we have changed from a 3 to a 2, but have we really changed the 1's position? No, because we've gone from 143 to 142.9. We've really only changed the 0.1 position. So it remains, the uncertain digit is still just the 0.1 position. Okay, so that's our uncertain digit there. Uncertain. And I would like you to tell me, this is the same balance here, here, and here. How many sig figs in that number 200? Think about that. Chat with your partner over it. So this is flickering back and forth between these two. Yeah? Which digit in the 200 is uncertain? Is it the 2? Is it the middle 0? Or is it the last 0? It is the middle 0, because what is really changing? Are we really changing from 100 to 200? Or are we changing from 190 to 200? We're really changing from 190 to 200. So it is changing by 2. So this one, your uncertain digit is still there. And you couldn't tell that unless you read the balance and it says good to 10 grams, right? Or unless you saw it flicker back and forth between 180, 190, and 200, which means that it's flickering between 10 grams. So its uncertainty is in the tens position, okay? So how should we record the mass of rock A? We would record it as 143.0, like that. If it was indeed flickering between these 3 numbers, we'd pick the one in the middle. If you have 2 numbers that it flickers between, pick one. Yes, doesn't matter which one. If it tends to spend more time in one than the other, maybe pick that one. And what would you choose as the recorded number for the 180, 190, 200? 190. Okay, so mass of rock A, 143.0, mass of rock B, 190. I would like you to add those two, 143.0 and 190. Okay, and we have to line up our decimal places. And what I would encourage you to do here is I would encourage you to underline your uncertain digits, okay? So number 1, you line up the decimal places. Number 2, you underline the uncertain digits. So we've got this one was uncertain, and we agreed that the 9 was uncertain. And now we add it up. So we now have 0 and 3 and 13. Carry the 1 is a 3. And my decimal continues down to here. Which digits are uncertain in the 333.0? Tell your partner. Which of those digits is uncertain? If this 0.1 position is uncertain, then the 0.1 position is also uncertain because it came from that 0. But if we look here, we're like, oh my gosh, but my tens position is uncertain. Yes? So that means my tens position is uncertain. Yes? So what that means is that my first uncertain digit is in the tens position. And what that means is now I need to round that number to the tens position. So I have 333.0. And do you remember when we round, we don't write an equal sign? What do we write? An arrow. Okay, so we're going to round. And tell your partner what you get if you round that to the tens position.
Because one just right at 33, having 33 you gotta round it down.
This would be, what do you guys get? Do we get A, 333.0? Do we get B, 333? Do we get C, 33? D, 330? Or E, 300? A, B, C, or D?
But
Okay, think about that. This is an A. This is how we do A. This is how we do B. Palm up, thumb on your palm. C is easy. You take your whole hand and you make a C. D, take your pointer finger and point it up, and then the rest of your fingers make a circle. That's a D. And then E, your fingers curl over, but not all the way, and then your thumb curls over. So it's sort of like little things. So we have some D's. We have a B. Okay, anyone like C? Wilfred's really pushing the C agenda here with Jayron. We'll see what happens. Haha. Yes? Because our uncertain digit is here, but it still needs to be 333. So we cannot do 33 because that just doesn't work. 33 is not the same as 330. And this one would imply that my first uncertain digit is in the ones, but I know that that digit is actually uncertain. I know that my tens position is uncertain, so I cannot have a meaningful digit after my first uncertain digit. Yes?
3.3 times 10 to the 2.
You could do 3.3 times 10 to the 2, and that would be beautiful. Okay? Yeah. All right? you may always put an answer in scientific notation. Sometimes it looks stupid to do so. Like if you're working with actual volumes and you get 25 milliliters, right? And you want 25.0 milliliters and you're like, oh, I really want to write that as 2.50 times 10 to the 1 milliliters. You have to think, if I'm measuring 25 milliliters, I'm using something that says 25 on it. I'm not using something that measures in powers of 10. So just be reasonable, okay? Most of the time, scientific notation's okay. Every once in a while, it just looks silly, you know, with your measuring instrument. Okay, steps. Underline, circle, or highlight the uncertain digit in each number. Do the math. And then you will underline, circle, or highlight the uncertain digits in the answer. Finally, you will round your final answer to the first or largest uncertain digit. Now, you can do these vertically, or you can do them horizontally. Okay, I'm going to show you the horizontal way here. We have 35.43. 35.43 plus 9.821. 35.43 plus 9.821. The uncertain digits are the 3 and the 1. So when I add those two, I get 45.251. 45.251. Where are my uncertain digits? I have an uncertain digit in the 0.01 position. So I need to underline my 0.01 position. I have an uncertain digit in the 0.001 position, so I need to underline that one. And then you can round. And you will round to your first uncertain digit. And that would become 45.2, what would it round to? 25. Yes? That is our first uncertain digit. So we can have one and only one uncertain digit, and there we are. Now, let's say you didn't want to do it horizontally. You could do it vertically. You could say 35.43 plus 9.821. Matthew, you had a little face there. Have I done something wrong? No? Okay. I like to check because often when students make that face, it means Ms. Spence has done something wrong. So I do like to check. So we have 5, we have 3, clear the 1, that's 15, clear the 1, that's 4, 5 point. Oh! Did I do it wrong? Did I write it down wrong? That should be a 3. Should that be a 3?
Should be a 2.
No.
Is it a 2? Oh, what did I do then? Oh, okay, I just can't add. That's my problem. Never mind. Can't add. Don't have a big enough brain for that. So if you do it this way, one thing that you will often see people do is they will cut it off, right? Like they'll do like a little cut off there because they say, okay, that's my uncertain digit, that's my uncertain digit, and I will cut it off there and then I will round to 45.25. I don't care which way you do it as long as you continue to get it correct. So if you like my way of doing it, that's great. If you would rather do it the other way, that's also fine. Just be aware that the uncertain digit will serve you well if you have uncertainty in the tens position or the hundreds position or the 10,000s position. Okay, let's take a look at this one here. I have the number 9, which just has one uncertain digit. And then I've got 532.629. So I have uncertainty in the ones position and in the 0.001 position, which means that the ones position is uncertain here. And the position is uncertain here. So we have to round then to our first uncertain digit. Whoops. Okay, so we look to the right and we say that is bigger than 5. So we will round up to 542. How do we feel? Do we want more examples or are we good? One thing I need to point out to you here, the number of sig figs can change when you add and subtract. Okay, this is going to become important because when you do the multiplying and dividing rule, which you'll learn over the weekend, when we multiply and divide, it has a different rule than adding and subtracting. And we do a lot more multiplying and dividing than we do adding and subtracting. So very often people will be like, oh, I love the multiplying and dividing rule. It is so easy. I round to the smallest number of sig figs in my equation. And people will look at this and they'll be like, oh, I got 4 sig figs here, 4 sig figs here. That means my answer needs 4 sig figs. But that would be if you were multiplying and dividing. I am mainly pointing this out to people who've done physics already because do not apply the multiplying and dividing rule when you're adding and subtracting because you will get the wrong answer because it's not the same rule. Keep them straight. Okay, that's the only place that it's really easy to go wrong is to just apply the wrong rule. Okay, so how about you guys do these exercises here? Okay, give them a try. And then if we have a little extra time, we might do some of the multiplying and dividing. Okay? Mm-hmm. And just so you guys know, I'm going away this weekend, so probably your test will not be marked on Monday either. Okay? I try to set the bar really low early on so you don't have any expectations. Then if you ever get it back, you're like, oh, Ms. Jones gave a test back. Oh my gosh. Ms. Bellier sets the bar really high. She gets them back the next day. And then when people don't get them, when she doesn't get it back, then people are like, oh, why is it not marked? But if you set the bar low right away, then you're good to go.
Yeah, that exchange.
And the answers are just at the bottom of the page, so if you want to check them. I don't know that my probably so this I can't remember if they did or not. Let's take a look. Okay. Yes, these are the updated ones. So you probably want to look at go back. Yes. so here we go. I should be able to see.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Actually, this. Yes, okay, okay. This is anything that's pretty there. Okay. We're going to pour it for it. So it's ungraded. Yeah, okay. And these are enriched, so they don't really look at you or anything like that. This is extra. So. No way that's no, but it's not. Oh, the measuring, yeah, I know. No, you're good. Yeah, no, yeah. That's all, yeah. Okay, so those are just the categories. All right, so what you want to do is watch what we're going to do oh, yes. There it is. Hold on. Assignments. No, not that's assignments. Okay. So now we have assignments, and now we need to go to word order. And you'll be able to see that through. Yes. So if it says enriched, or okay. But okay. So, you can see we have this. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're just.
Okay. I'm actually doing it on the computer, so you can see what you actually got on each list. Okay, and if there's anything missing. Yeah. Absolutely, yes. Okay, and the equipment A is just from book one. Yeah, so it goes at the beginning of the booklet. Yeah, so you can just show that. Yeah. For the English part, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, yeah. And I haven't put it, so let me put it in, then I need to change that for you. I'll be right there, Jenny. Update. Matthews. Vocab. 210. Okay, I've got the note down now, so it should get done today. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can do that first. Yeah. Not today. Because I'm going to the airport, but okay. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can use a calculator. That's right, because Have you underlined your uncertain digits? Underline your uncertain digits in each of these numbers. Okay, so now you're gonna say, I have an uncertain digit here, so you're gonna underline that one. You have an uncertain digit here, so you're gonna underline that one. Now, how many uncertain digits are you allowed? One. So you have to round to the hundredths position. Yeah. Hi. Oh,
And I
perfect.
have ties too.
Oh, wonderful. Let me just write those down for you real quick. All right, Steffi, that's a 3, and Kaya. That's a 2 and a 1. 5. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so you have a ones place, and a tens place. So you should be around the tens position. Yes. Because you go, okay, I don't have that student here, I don't have a student here. Yeah. Yeah. Sky, how are you going?
Pretty good. I was doing my mark.
Oh, perfect. Okay, let me know if you have any problems.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was having trouble logging in.
I hear you. I understand. How's it going so far?
I still do it.
Okay, so you have uncertain digit in the 21. So you're gonna say, okay, I got it. And you have an uncertain digit in the ones. So you're gonna start at the left and you're gonna say, where's my first uncertain digit? There. So I'm going to round off there, and then I have to look to the right and say that's gonna stay down as a 6. So it's gonna be 1, 6, 2, 6. Or 0.2, I'm sorry, I'm reading upside down. Did that make sense? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're actually good job. How are you? How did the acting go? It was good. Yeah. Okay. The multiplying. I find the multiplying. Just because it's just because you just throw it in your calculator, you know, like I got 3, I got 4, yeah, exactly. You have to think a little bit of the app. Yeah. Awesome. How are you? Yeah, is it making sense? So far? How are you? Awesome. That's frustrating. You're good? All right. Ah, so that was, well, you know what, it's not the worst thing in the world. That doesn't make sense too. You guys good? Oh, yeah. So that. Write that down right now. Anyone else have a measurement quiz they want to show me?
I was trying to find mine.
Yeah?
I can tell you
Do you remember what you got?
exactly that I
Okay.
got 3.
You got 3.
This is
Okay.
mine. I got the barrette,
Yeah.
the quadruple
Yeah.
balance, and I think it was either the triple beam or beaker that I wrote down.
Bam.
I know I got 3.
Perfect.
Oh.
There we go. Hi. Perfect. Thank you.